I'm Phil Bertin. We're on the Isle of Ulva here today, just off of Mull. I run the farm here. We've got about 40 breeding cows, 100 breeding ewes. The cows are all Highland cattle and the sheep are a cross of Blackface and Swaledale mixture. The farm itself is around about 1,000 hectares, mostly hill ground, but we do have some in-by fields like the one that we're in just now. There was a bit of a gap on farming in Ulva for a number of years, and over the last couple of years we've been trying to get the place back up and running again. So that's what brought me down from the Western Isles to Ulva to take on the farm. I got started in farming at probably a later age than most people. My grandfather was a shepherd, but I didn't really have any involvement with him and from the work side of things. But when we moved to Harris around about 9 years ago, we were very fortunate to take on a croft there and had cattle and sheep there whilst working full-time at another job. And yeah, so it just grew from there really. We had that, and then the opportunity to come down to Ulva to work full-time came up, and I was very fortunate to be given the chance to come here. So when we first came here, I was an employee to start with, just managing the place for the community that own the island. And then whilst taking on the tenancy, I was given some advice, agricultural advice from an independent advisor on Mull, Claire Simonetta, and also SEC Consulting in Oban have been helpful as well. There is FAS meetings on Mull that I will be attending, and that's a great source of meeting other farmers and also getting advice from specialists. So yeah, lots of help. So the big driver for coming to Ulva specifically was to be able to do this full time. I have the farm here, and I also do contract work on Mull, helping people gather their sheep in, work with cattle, do a bit of shearing and different things. So yeah, it just gave me the opportunity to come here and work full time with animals, which was the main driver really. I suppose the main challenge really being the farmer in Ulva is just location, access. We have a stretch of water behind us here that separates us from Mull, and then we obviously, once we're on Mull, we have to get to the mainland to either buy or sell stock, to get supplies, anything like that at all. And in winter time, every piece of feed that goes into the animals has to be carried onto the island by hand on the small ferry. So yeah, access and logistics are probably the biggest challenge, along with trying to deal with the land that we have here. Relatively poor quality ground, major issue with bracken control, with other invasive sort of plants taking over the quality grazing that we do have. So logistics, and also just trying to get the land back into good order. The biggest challenges that we faced and are still facing, I would say, are financial. We had a small fold of cattle and we had some sheep when we came here, but the financial investment required to make a full-time living from a farm is extraordinary and continual throughout the year. The returns are minimal to start with, so trying to work off farm to earn enough money to allow the farm to develop whilst also still being here enough to care for the animals is a huge challenge. I think new entrants are really at a disadvantage financially to start off with. It's a huge challenge and requires a lot of support. I'm very fortunate that my family are supportive of me and very enthusiastic about me being here. So yeah, finances are a huge challenge. I think probably the biggest success on Ulva so far is just getting here. It took a huge amount of challenges to overcome to get here. Just getting animals from Mull onto Ulva was a huge sort of community effort. We had help from local fish farm and other farmers to help me get the animals here and get them settled in, and calving and lambing in a place that the animals didn't know was a huge challenge. But we've come through our first year, and hopefully next year it'll be a little bit easier, and then just gradually get easier every year. So future plans for Ulva going forward are really just to try and build the farm up. So we have as I say, 40 breeding cattle. We're hoping to increase that every year to around about 70 breeding cattle, and try really tap into the market around Ulva in terms of direct selling of products to tourists, to locals and to businesses. We produce a premium product here, I believe, and the beef that we can produce from the Highland cattle. So hopefully we can utilise the story that behind Ulva. It's a community-owned island. It's something different from a normal farm, and it allows us maybe to tap into that sort of high-end beef market. Yeah, so obviously as a new entrant, one of the major challenges really is having enough finance behind you to access livestock. You can't really just have one or two animals and allow it to build, because you have to make a living for yourself. So when we came to Ulva, we were very, very fortunate to have support from United Auctions. Raymond Kennedy, the auctioneer in Oban, helped me get set up with the livestock finance scheme, which, to be honest, Ulva wouldn't be a functioning farm without that, because having enough livestock to create an income for the farm is absolutely fundamental, crucial to the success of the farm. So with a farm like Ulva, it's relatively marginal land. In terms of trying to make a profitable business, diversifying into other avenues, things different to traditional farming, is really important. So we have around about 6,000 or 7,000 tourists come to the island every year. So the idea is to hopefully tap into that market a little bit. Ideal scenario would be a small farm shop, and initially probably we would look to sell our produce, so our beef, our hogget, our mutton, to customers via a kind of honesty type system, potentially in one of the buildings down at the pier here, and then maybe grow into an actual farm shop after that. So yeah, diversification is going to be really important. I think if I was speaking to other new entrants, I would say really just go for it. It was quite a scary thought. I gave up a full-time job to come here. My family and I moved, a fair distance just to take on this opportunity. But if you don't try these things, you'll never know. Just be brave. Financially, it's quite scary, or very scary. But yeah, just go for it, and hard work gets you a long way. So why do I do this? It's a good question. Sometimes I ask myself that when I wake up in the morning, and it's the animals. It's just the connection with the animals and having a chance to be proud of something that you produce. In the middle of winter, when it's lashing with rain, the wind is blowing, and you're out feeding your animals, it's that drive just to produce something that you can be proud of at the end of the day. That's what I really enjoy about it.